Welcome to Invest Ed.
So yung company na i-analyze natin at re-reviewin ay ang company na Holcim. Okay, so sa pag-review at pag-analyze ng stocks, magkakaroon tayo ng idea kung anong meron sa company at malalaman natin kung anong strength and weaknesses ng company. And also, magkakaroon tayo ng matibay na konklusyon at matibay na pundasyon sa pag-invest natin sa stock market. Malalaman din natin dito yung intrinsic value ng company. Kasi sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, price is what you pay, value is what you get. And also, most importantly, dapat naiintindihan mo kung ano yung vision, mission ng company, kung ano yung business model ng company. Kasi kung di mo naiintindihan, sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, you have to stay to your circle of competence as always. Okay, so lahat-lahat ng yan pagsasama-sama natin sa video na to. So let's start and see you on the other side. Hello guys, welcome sa channel natin. Kung bago ka pa lang sa channel natin, huwag mong kakalimutan na i-subscribe and pindutin ang bell button para ma-notify ka sa mga bagong videos na lalabas sa channel natin. No? So dito, binabahagi ko yung 7 years of experience ko sa pag-trade at pag-invest ko sa stock market. And ang kagandahan pa dito, it's completely free. Maraming salamat. Okay, so umpisa na natin. See you on the other side.
Holcim Philippines, Incorporated primarily manufactures, sells, distributes, and exports cement and cementitious products in the Philippines and internationally. It produces cement in various product brands, including Holcim 4X, Portland cement for ready-mix concrete applications, Holcim Premium Cement, and ASTM Type I Portland cement for general concrete construction, Holcim XL, an ASTM Type IP cement for general concrete construction, and Holcim Wall-Rite cement, an ASTM C91 Type S masonry cement for block laying, plastering, and finishing use. The company also offers clinkers, red-mix concrete products, such as structural, industrial housing, road and pavement, and high-strength concrete, as well as concrete for special applications, aggregates, Holcim Tile Adhesive, a cement-based adhesive for tiles primarily formulated for thin bed vertical and horizontal applications, Holcim Scheme Coat, a cementitious plaster for indoor and outdoor applications, and Holcim Concrete Waterproofing, a cement-based waterproofing. In addition, it engages in the purchase, lease, and sale of real estate properties, mining, processing, and sale of quarry resources, manufacture, use, and sale of admixtures, business process outsourcing and other information technology-enabled services, and operation, maintenance, and franchise stores for the sale and distribution of construction and building materials, as well as provision of construction-related services. Holcim Philippines, Incorporated offers its products to traders, wholesalers, retailers, contractors serving private and public projects, real estate developers, and concrete producers. The company was formerly known as Union Cement Corporation and changed its name to Holcim Philippines, Incorporated in November 2004. The company was incorporated in 1964 and is based in Taguig City, the Philippines. Holcim Philippines, Incorporated is a subsidiary of Union Cement Holdings Corporation.
Welcome sa technical analysis na Holcim. So nakikita natin dito, okay, nakikita natin na sa downtrend pa rin talaga tong chart ni Holcim, no? Gumita dito ng trend line para makita natin yung mini trend ng chart natin, no? So gusto natin makita dito na i-break niya muna tong level na to, no? Para masabi natin na there's something na kaya niyang iangat tong level na to. Kasi as we can see, sa line na to talagang nirerespeto niya lang. Ibig sabihin, hindi niya talaga ma-break yung level na to. And nakikita natin yung candlestick niya, no, na nandito siya ngayon sa pagitan ng 20 SMA, itong blue, and sa pagitan ng 50 SMA. Okay? So nakikita natin, hindi pa rin talaga niya ma-break yung 50 SMA. So yung aabagan natin dito sa chart na to. Kapag ma-break niya tong trend line natin na ginawa dito, no, ang next target natin ay yung nasa 100 MA na 5.94 pesos per share. Yun ang next target natin kapag brinik niya tong line na to. Okay? Ang ayaw naman natin makita is ito, no, ma-break niya tong 5.10 na price, no. Pag brinik niya yan, talagang babulusok pa siya dito pababa. Ibig sabihin, continuation ng downtrend. Okay, so yun yung mga titignan natin dito sa chart ng company na to. Or sa chart ni Holcim. Okay, so hanggang dito na lang muna yung ating technical analysis sa company. Okay, so back to the topic tayo, guys. Okay, this is the free cash flow ng company, no? Nakikita natin ito yung free cash flow ng company for the past 5 years. Okay, so sa mga hindi nakakaalam kung ano ba tong free cash flow, bakit natin ito kinukuha yung free cash flow? Ito yung free cash flow, it represents the cash available for the company to repay creditors, or pay dividends to the shareholders, or to reinvest to their businesses. Ito yung free cash flow, no? So bakit natin gustong makita na positive ang free cash flow ng company, no, na ina-analyze natin? Kasi ang ibig sabihin nun, mas malaki yung kanilang cash from operating activities than their cash from expenditure or capital expenditure or expenses, no? So yun yung gusto nating makita. Okay, ano bang ibig sabihin ng negative free cash flow naman? Ang ibig sabihin naman ng negative free cash flow, mas malaki yung kanilang capital expenditure kaysa sa kanilang cash from operating activities. Yung cash from operating activities and capital expenditures, makikita natin ito sa cash flow statement ng company na gusto natin pag-analyzean, no? So kailangan lang natin siyang i-minus. So, kailangan lang natin ng cash from operating activities, minus lang natin sa capital expenditures natin. Okay, so ano nga ba yung gusto natin makita sa free cash flow ng company na ina-analyze natin? Ang gusto natin makita na stable yung kanilang free cash flow na positive and increasing, ay natin naman na makita na decreasing yung kanilang free cash flow and negative lahat ng free cash flow nila, no? Now, nakikita natin dito yung kanilang free cash flow from 2005, meron silang 5.3 billion free cash flow. And fast forward to 2019, meron silang 3.5 billion free cash flow. So nakikita natin na stable yung free cash flow na purong positive, which is magandang tignan. For me kasi, free cash flow, I would rather choose free cash flow than earnings because free cash flow, kasi may mga company tayo na ina-analyze na merong earnings but there's no free cash flow. And also, no, a good company have a positive free cash flow. Para mas lalo natin maintindihan, ano nga ba tong free cash flow? As a 100% owner ng company, no? Ang ibig sabihin nito, kung nagbi-business tayo, no, itong free cash flow, ang ibig sabihin niyan, ito na yung para sa atin, no? Ito na yung pwede nating itabi, or ito na yung pwede nating ipang travel, or invest sa company ulit. So, ito na yun, no? Ito na yung para sa'yo. Ito ang ibig sabihin ng free cash flow. So, yung data na to, ay, yung pinaka-latest is 2019 pa. So, gusto natin makita, in 2020, gusto natin makita yung free cash flow na company nang nagkaroon ng COVID. The free cash flow ng company in a quarterly basis, nakikita natin dito, in second quarter of 2020, meron silang free cash flow na 1.9 billion pesos positive, and comparing to the first quarter of 2019, first quarter of 2020, meron silang 87 million free cash flow. And comparing to the second quarter of 2020 and second quarter of 2019, nakikita natin na in 2019, meron silang negative 516 million negative free cash flow, and now meron silang 1.9 billion positive free cash flow. Okay, nakikita natin dito na nag-i-improve yung kanilang free cash flow over the years. Okay, nakikita natin dito na nag-i-improve yung kanilang free cash flow ng time na mayroong pandemic, no? Okay, i-deep tackle natin, no, yung report ng company para mas lalo nating maintindihan. Okay, this is the income statement ng company, no? In a quarterly basis, nakikita natin dito yung kanya net income in a second quarter of 2020 ay nasa 88.14 million pesos yung kanilang net income loss, and compared to the first quarter of 2020, meron silang 501.3 million pesos net income, no? Nakikita natin na bumagsak yung kanilang net income. Okay? So mamaya alamin natin to kung bakit bumagsak yung kanilang net income. And comparing to the second quarter of 2019 and 2020, no, nakikita natin dito na meron siyang 1.4 billion pesos net income in second quarter of 2019. And now meron siyang 88.14 million pesos net income loss. Okay, welcome sa report ng company, no. Sabi dito sa report ng company, sa result of operations nila, the group posted net sales of 11.4 billion pesos lower by 26% compared to 15.4 billion pesos reported in the same period last year, both from lower volume and price. And also, no, sabi dito, the volume as of June 2020 was affected by lockdown implemented by the government starting from second half of March until the end of May. And also, sabi din dito, there was semblance of recovery in June, very limited deliveries to Visayas and North Mindanao. Colgate plant was able to operate but road closures and port shutdowns from localized quarantine hampered movement of labor and logistics. So sinasabi lang dito sa report na talagang naapektuhan sila ng pandemic, no? Talagang ng time na nakilinose yung mga roads, lockdown, nagkaroon na lang lockdown implementations, hindi nila matravel doon sa dapat pagtravelan nila ng kanilang product because of the lockdown. Kaya talagang nakita natin na bumaba yung kanilang sales from 15.4 billion pesos to 11.4 billion pesos na lang, no? Nakita din natin dito as of June, no, talagang nagkaroon sila ng recovery but very limited deliveries lang sa Visayas and North Mindanao. And also, no, sa kanilang financial position, the group's financial position has remained healthy with stable cash position. However, the return on assets declined to 0.9 as of June 30 to 2020, which is 71% lower from the end of 2019 na mayroong relief from lower income generated during the period. The total assets stood at 43.7 billion as of June 30, 2020, 3% lower than 2019. Okay, and this is the report of the company, no? And now, nandito na tayo sa earnings per share versus free cash flow per share. So, bakit natin ina-analyze at nire-review itong earnings per share versus free cash flow per share? So, ano ba yung agenda natin dito? Yung earnings per share, gusto natin kasi makita yung quality of earnings per share versus sa free cash flow per share. Okay, so anong gusto natin makita? Gusto natin makita mas malaki yung free cash flow per share versus sa earnings per share. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ang ibig sabihin nun, there's a pile of cash meron ng company. Ibig sabihin, pag mayroong pile of cash, pwede pang improve ang company or pwede pang mag-improve yung company. And now, ano naman yung ayaw nating makita? Ang ayaw naman nating makita, merong earnings per share but sobrang laki ng difference ng free cash flow per share or negative yung free cash flow per share. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ang ibig sabihin nun, there is something na nangyayari sa loob ng company or binuboost yung fundamentals ng company to attract investors. Yun yung ayaw nating makita. Okay, so in 2019, yung kanilang earnings per share ay nasa 0.57 earnings per share while the free cash flow per share ay nasa 0.53 free cash flow per share. So nakikita natin dito na there's meron konting different but still it is a good, no? Nakikita natin na magka-level pa rin yung kanilang earnings per share versus free cash flow per share. So anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang ibig sabihin, there's a pile of cash meron pa rin ang company. Ang ibig sabihin, pag meron pile of cash, there's a chance, malaking chances na mag-improve pa rin yung company. Okay, in terms of earnings per share versus free cash flow per share, nasa green zone tayo sa kanya. Now, nakikita natin dito yung kanilang free cash flow yield ay nasa 10%. So, nakikita natin dito, in terms of free cash flow yield, sinasabi sa atin na it is undervalued in terms of free cash flow yield alone. And now, nakikita natin dito yung kanilang net profit margin ay nasa 9%. Okay na, dumako na tayo sa moat analysis ng company. Okay? So, moat analysis are popularized by Warren Buffett. It refers to a business ability to maintain its competitive advantage over its competitors in order to protect its long-term profit and market shares from competing firms. Okay? So, yung mga categories natin ng moat analysis natin, syempre, nandiyan yung cash from operating activities, net income, earnings per share, book value per share. So, gusto natin makita over the years yung 4 categories na yan ay nasa 10% pataas para masabi natin na matibay yung moat ng company. At hindi basta-basta mapapasok ng mga competitors yung company. And now, nakikita natin dito yung kanilang cash from operating activities ay nasa negative 5%, while the net income nasa negative 15% growth in 5 years, while the earnings per share ay nasa negative 9% growth in 5 years. The book value per share nasa 2% growth in 5 years. Nakikita natin dito over the years, no, majority na kanilang ng gusto natin makita ay nasa 10% patasan na yung kanilang growth, no. Nakikita natin na yung book value per share lang yung positive. Okay, so yung ratings natin sa kanya, 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. So in terms of moat analysis, nasa 1 tayo, yung ratings natin sa kanya, nasa pinakamababa. And now, dumako naman tayo sa management analysis natin sa kanya. So, sa management, ginagamit natin dito yung ROIC and ROE, no? So, ano ba tong ROIC? So, yung ROIC that have high ROIC are one that efficiently use the capital that they have raised in order to grow the business. So, gusto natin makita over the years, yung ROIC ng company ay nasa 10% pataas. Okay? So nakikita natin dito from 2015, meron silang 33% ROIC, which is very, very good. And in 2019, nakikita natin na meron silang 13% ROIC. So it is considered a good ROIC pa rin. No? Pero nakikita natin na over this, bumabagsak yung kanilang ROIC, but still, itong ROIC na 13%, it is considered a good ROIC. Now, kailangan natin siya i-compare sa ROE ng company. Yung ROE or return on equity of greater than 10% over time, it demonstrates the effectiveness of management in increasing the value of shareholders' equity. So, sa madaling salita, ang ibig sabihin itong return on equity, kung gaano kagaling yung management to handle others people's money. Okay? So, we look also ROIC na 10%. We look also in ROE na 10% pataas yung kanilang ROEs, which is considered a good ROE. So nakikita natin dito yung kanilang ROE in 2015 ay nasa 33%, and in 2019 meron silang 13% also. No, nakikita natin na the same lang siya doon sa ating ROIC and ROE. So which in this case, in terms of management level, nasa highest rank tayo sa kanya in terms of management analysis. Nasa 10. Okay? And now, dumako tayo sa debt analysis na company. So, yung kinukuha natin dito, yung debt to earnings ratio ng company. So, debt to earnings ratio of less than 3 years are considered stable because they do not have a large amount of interest expense to debt to service a company. So, anong ibang ibig sabihin itong debt to earnings ratio? Ang ibig sabihin lang nito, gaano katagal mababayaran ng company yung kanilang long-term debt gamit lamang yung kanilang net income. So, natin makita dito, less than 3 years lang kayang bayaran ng company yung kanilang long-term debt. So, nakikita natin, in 2015 to 2019, nakikita natin na zero. Ang ibig sabihin nun, talagang stable, magaling mag-manage yung company in terms of debt, no? So, ibig sabihin, sa madaling salita, wala silang interest expense masyado na binabayaran or debt to service the company. So, yun yung ibig sabihin nun. So, in terms of debt analysis natin sa kanya, nasa highest ratings naman tayo sa kanya. Okay, this is the key metrics ng company. No? Nakikita natin to. In terms of moat ratings, nasa 1 tayo. So, red flag. In terms of management ratings, excellent tayo sa kanya, nasa 10. In terms of debt ratings natin sa kanya, nasa excellent din tayo sa kanya, nasa 10. The highest level. Kasi in terms of total metrics natin sa kanya, nasa 21 total score niya. So, dito siya papasok, no? Nasa good companies pa rin itong company na ina-analyze natin. Okay guys, so nakikita natin na nasa 21 pa rin siya. It is considered a good company. So, pwede pa tayo magpatuloy sa second part of analyzations natin na company. Kasi may mga company tayo na ina-analyze na dito pa sa first part of analyzations natin sa company, na hindi na sila pumapasa. So, hindi na tayo nagpapatuloy sa second part of analyzations natin ng company, no? So, dito, in this case, nakikita natin na nasa good. So, pwede tayo magpatuloy sa second part of analyzations. So, abangan nyo guys yung second part of analyzations natin. Summary na pag-aaral natin sa company. Okay? Yung nakita nating moat ay nasa red zone tayo sa kanya. Management nasa excellent. debt ay nasa excellent tayo. In terms of free cash flow ng company ay nasa 3.5 billion pesos in 2019 and earnings per share versus free cash flow per share ay nasa green zone tayo sa kanya. Okay? So sa pag-analyze, pagre-review ng stocks, magkakaroon tayo ng idea kung ano yung strength and weaknesses ng company and magkakaroon tayo ng matibay na pundasyon at matibay na konklusyon sa pag-i-invest natin sa stock market. Kasi hindi lang tayo basta pasok sa stock market o sa business na gusto natin pag-investan. Sa second part ng analyzations natin, o sa second part ng video natin, itutakal natin doon yung market performance na company, financial metrics na company, intrinsic value ng company, kukompute natin siya step by steps, and ano ba yung future growth na company. Okay? So, guys, hanggang dito na lang muna yung ating pag-aaral sa first part of analyzations natin sa kanya. So, abangan nyo yung second part natin. So, maraming salamat. Invest wisely and see you on the other side. Hello guys, welcome sa channel natin. Kung bago ka pa lang sa channel natin, huwag mong kakalimutan na i-subscribe and pindutin ang bell button para ma-notify ka sa mga bagong videos na lalabas sa channel natin. No? So dito, binabahagi ko yung 7 years of experience ko sa pag-trade at pag-invest ko sa stock market. And ang kagandahan pa dito, it's completely free. Maraming salamat. See you on the other side.